Here we go. We are live. Exciting. Now, congratulations for investing in your family by joining us today on AI Parenting Live, a judgment-free community moving from screen time to quality time. Our motto is don't sedate, relate to create. And today's theme is going to be on relating because we're live to discuss social virtual reality and why social VR matters to families and parents. So as usual, we're an open community, so feel free to write your questions in the comments. We should be able to see them live. In fact, I'm going to launch my chat app right now just to make sure I can see it. Should be visible at this point. And I think I can see that from the dashboard already. I can already see some of your comments. Great. I'll just say hello, everyone. Post your questions in the chat. Exclamation mark. Yeah, it looks like it's sent to a few of the different platforms. Excellent. And sometimes, just in case, it's always good to have Facebook and LinkedIn checked manually because I've noticed that the last few times things don't show properly. So I can see, yes, excellent. Okay, and I'm gonna post in here, just making sure I'm posting into Facebook and into LinkedIn just to make sure that I am able to see all of your comments at all times. Hi. Okay, cool. I can see, yes. Awesome. And I have to make sure that these streams are actually turned off. Yeah, okay, good. So that I don't get any extra extraneous audio. Yes, I can see both. Okay, excellent. So those of you who have been watching the channel may have noticed that AI Parenting has had a recent logo change. We are now using, what's the best way to show this? So you'll see on the diagram here, we're now using capital A, little I, because artificial intelligence is used much less like an intelligence and much more like the automatic habits and decisions of our unconscious mind. Now, back in 2018, Facebook's regional director in the Middle East, Turkey, and Africa, Ari Kasigoglu, told us that we thumb through a Statue of Liberty worth of posts every single day. This is in 2018. So this is well before lockdown. So can you imagine what that number is today? Like, put it in the comments. Is it like 2 statues of liberty if we use statues of liberty as a unit of measure? Is it 3? How much is it? You know, sometimes we feel like our phones must be listening to us 24/7. Well, it turns out that the milliseconds that we spend watching posts on our feeds is more than enough input for an AI to know what ads to serve you. And so we ask the question of, well, what is the future of unconscious input? Where does it go from here? So today we're curious about 3 things. The first, social virtual reality, and why does it matter to parents and families? The second is who controls social virtual reality? And finally, how do we prepare for our new unconscious future? So let's jump right into it. So the first one, social virtual reality. So some of the first VR experiences started appearing in the 60s. And by the 90s, social VR gaming was already available as a product from companies such as Virtuality. So if you haven't already seen my video on this topic, I'll do like a brief replay of the beginning and the end portion of the video because I want to show this to you so that we can discuss it. Let me hide my slides. Let me show this. Okay, no problemo. Just want to see, hi, yeah. Cool. So my previous video apparently wasn't showing, so I'm gonna load it up one more time. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna watch through just a brief portion of it because the beginning portion of this video is very important. It goes into my depth of why I'm interested in VR, and I think that's gonna help us have a little bit more meaningful discussion today. So here it is. I will make it, why don't I make it full screen? Yeah, here we go. Okay, and here we go. Here's why VR matters to parents. Now, I got something new. This is the Oculus Quest number 2. This is the second Quest. And I've been interested in VR for a very long time. Long before I ever had any kids, I was interested in VR. My first VR experience was at in the early 1990s at the Calgary Stampede, a virtuality group shooter that could be played with four students. Let me show you what I mean. So this is what it would look like. I'm proud to say that I shot my way through to win my very first death match. And I also looked at how VR can be used as an educational activity with the first Oculus Rift. Now, with that one, I could not play for long because it would give me like headaches. So why Quest 2 as opposed to the first Quest? Well, as somebody who has worked in products, my advice has always been never buy version 1. Always buy version 2 because version 2 is what version 1 should have been at a much more reasonable price. But the second reason is actually a much Oh, I'm sorry about that. Huh. Oh, I apologize. Are you able to hear me now? And you tried two different gadgets and you weren't able to hear me. Huh. Okay. No sound. Sonia says no sound. Okay. So that's important to know because, like, obviously we should have sound. Can you hear me now? Just double checking. Can you still hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Yes, now clear. Okay, good. Hey, I'm sorry for that. Oh man. Okay. How much of it did you miss? So, well, you just saw a press tech demo, and the press saw this as a tech demo in the midst of a natural disaster. So it just showed how disconnected tech can be from the reality of so many in our society. I want to acknowledge that VR today is so we missed a lot. Okay. Don't worry, I'll catch you up. Hmm. How should I do this? Okay, how about this? Why don't I do this? I will start back at the previous point because I think that that's pretty important, and I just want to talk about like it will help if you understand the context of the previous point. And I'm sorry for reiterating. I'll be fairly quick on that point. So let's go back. Let's go back to the previous point. Okay. So let's see. So we're back to who controls virtual reality. Now, I've had some strong reactions to my first VR post, and some told me that they would never buy an Oculus Quest 2 because of the Facebook account requirement. When I asked others what VR hardware would best protect their privacy, they didn't know, they weren't sure. So if we really want to understand privacy in social virtual reality, we need to first know which big tech companies control our social VR experiences. Many educators first experienced VR using Google Cardboard and apps like Google Expeditions and Google Daydream. YouTube itself has built-in support for 360 virtual reality videos. And after having collaborated with Google on its Pixel smartphone, HTC sold roughly half of its design and research talent, as well as non-exclusive rights to smartphone-related intellectual property to Google in 2017 for US $1.1 billion. Now, keep in mind that HTC was 6% of unit shipments in the first 6 months of 2020. So Google was certainly an early investor, but I want to say that it was not Google, but it was HTC that was an early Series A investor in another social VR system called VRChat. And it participated also in its 2019 Series C for 10 million US dollars. VRChat has cracked the code of creating engaging social experiences in VR, said Viveport president and senior vice president of VR at HTC, Rickard Steiber. We are excited to continue working closely with VRChat as they help people connect with each other and the communities they love the most in VR. VRChat is really an interesting technology, but just make sure you like and subscribe my YouTube channel to stay on top of some of the updates that they're going to make this year, which is quite interesting because of this additional investment. Now, I want to talk a little bit about AltSpace because I was recently talking about Microsoft, and I think this is quite relevant. So AltSpace started in 2015 to bring Second Life experiences to virtual reality. And Microsoft acquired AltSpace VR in 2017, helping to resolve AltSpace's cash flow problems. What's fascinating about AltSpace is their support for hosting these live events that range from open mic poetry and improv to church services and even meditation. My first AltSpace meditation gave me a chance to speak with the meditation leader, Gigi Jeffrey, about his experiences in the virtual Burning Man conference. Cool, huh? They have like big events like right there. It's important to see a merging of your VR identity and your online identity as an industry trend rather than the actions of a specific company. You can use your Microsoft login to create an AltSpace account today. So there's this trend of combining the two. Now, back to Facebook. So I said that Facebook acquired Oculus in 2014, and Oculus was 36% of unit sales in the first 6 months of 2020. This acquisition brought on computer science legends such as John Carmack, who developed the engines for Doom, and Michael Abrosh, who did graphics and assembly for Windows NT and the Quake engine. They're certainly advancing the field of what can be done with consumer hardware in Oculus. And the Quest, especially the Quest 2, is certainly a testament to what can be done. Now, Facebook Spaces is their social platform. It was released in 2017, and there's that famous keynote that I just showed of Mark Zuckerberg using Facebook Spaces in a live 360 video of the flooding in Puerto Rico. The intent was to show how VR connects with real life issues. But of course, as you may have seen, the press reaction was generally negative. The press saw it as a tech demo in the midst of a natural disaster. So it just showed how disconnected tech can be from the reality of so many in our society. Now, I want to acknowledge that today, VR is certainly a position of privilege. But that's how all technology starts. William Gibson said that the future is already here, it's just not uniformly distributed. And this is why we want to talk about it on this channel, because even if you don't have a headset right now, you deserve to know what is going on and how will it impact the future of your family. So Facebook is set to replace Facebook Spaces with their social VR app called Facebook Horizon this year. Since Quest devices are automatically connected to the Facebook platform, it would just quickly become the largest social VR platform overnight. Now, there are other devices out there. So, for example, Sony has targeted the gaming market with PlayStation VR, released in 2016. It was 18% of VR unit sales in the first 6 months of 2020. And Sony also announced this week, this week, that there would be a new VR headset for the PlayStation 5 in 2022. So without speaking specifically to the hardware, it does seem that a number of social VR apps, including AltSpace, VR Chat, Rec Room, they all work on PlayStation VR. Rec Room, if you're not familiar with it, it's pretty similar to AltSpace with regular events and a growing community of users. In fact, in December 2020, they secured a $20 million Series C investment. Their CEO, Nick Fasht, estimates that the company has tripled its total audience since this time last year. Can you imagine, like, just because of the pandemic, social VR has exploded. It really has. And that's why this is really important to talk about it now. The company has also made a concerted effort or drive to be on new platforms, including just on regular smartphones and devices. Now, what I think is really interesting is the fact that they work with creation tools, like Rec Room works with creation tools such as Roblox, is really interesting to me, because we're seeing this trend, seeing as like other companies such as Microsoft are showing HoloLens examples with Minecraft. So the space, the world of gaming, and then the world of like social, it's all It's all coming together right now. And so that's why it's so important to talk about this experience right now. Okay. So next, I want to talk a little bit about, I hope this works. Yes, okay. So our unconscious future. So how? How can we prepare for a future where our conscious input becomes less and less important? I'd recommend that we explore virtual reality. So in 2019, Cathay Pacific, the airline, found great marketing success through an immersive ad campaign, immersing viewers using 360-degree video technology allowed potential customers to experience what it feels like to travel with their airline, from checking in at the airport all the way to lounging in their cabin. The brand found it easier to distribute these experiences by having people view on mobile and on desktop rather than plug-in headset, which enabled the campaign to reach more people, and it ended up performing better. If you just go to the Apple homepage, like you'll see that many Apple products already feature a 360-degree rotating view of their products when you go and visit them. So, I mean, maybe you've seen some of these already. In 2016, YouTube worked with the Columbia Sportswear Company on 360-degree ads, and they found that in total, the 360-degree ad drove 41% more earned actions, which is like engagements, than the standard ad. It also drove way more engagement with Columbia's own YouTube channel than a standard ad. The full-length 360 video had 46% higher view count at the end of their experiment than the standard full-length piece, which was just like a regular video. So as a result, the 360 ad was more efficient, as a more efficient buy, since its cost per view was lower when organic and paid views were combined. So 360 video ads, they're here, like they exist now, and you can certainly see them in a variety of systems. So get ready for more of that to appear. And it doesn't matter if you have a device or not. A lot of the tools and technologies are appearing in there because they know that this draws attention. I mentioned earlier of a study that I did with Ian Hargreaves, exactly the same thing, right? Like it's just, if you take an object, you rotate it 360 degrees, it's just spinning, it draws attention like crazy. And this is well known. This is why Facebook has 3D photos, so you can take a regular photo, turn it into a 3D photo pretty easily. It's exactly the same reason. So I hope that makes sense. Yep. So let's keep going. So right now, like social virtual reality is not all that different from joining a live voice chat platform like Clubhouse. Like, don't be afraid to create a free virtual account to see what the experience is like for yourself. I mean, that as a parent is one of the best ways to learn about this whole system. Now, if you don't want to try anything related to VR at this point, we're here for you. We're here for you, right? Like, you don't have to have a VR headset in order to know about it. That's what AI parenting was here for. So I'm going to have a little plug here. What I want you to do is, I think if you subscribe, so I'm creating an email list called the AI Parenting Insider. And what I'll do is I'm going to cover a little bit more about these different systems in a future live stream. So you want to be subscribed to the email list. That way you can get notifications about, hey, here's what's happening right now. And like I said, like, this was a very exciting week. There were so many big announcements. Microsoft made their Mesh announcement this week. Very interesting, very exciting. And then in addition, there was a number of Sony started making announcements saying, hey, by the way, we're going to make a new headset. All of that happening within this week. So staying on top of that can be a lot of work. And that's one of the reasons why you'll benefit from being subscribed to the email list. So I guess my question is, was this session helpful for you? Yes? No? Let me know if you'd like me to cover in a future episode anything that we talked about today in a little bit more detail. Like I said, there's so many VR announcements this week. So I thought it's both like timely and relevant to talk about them from the perspective of parenting in a world of VR. And I think this is something that changes. It is worthwhile for us to connect to these notes. One of the videos that I shared, which was like a 60-second short, it's interesting. Like this week, it went viral. I think I got like normally my videos get like 1 or 2 views per video, and this particular one got like 650 views like within like the span of an hour. So that certainly was not anything to do with me. This is certainly the algorithm recognizing that it's important. And when I thought about like why would it care so much about like this virtual reality post compared to the other posts, it's because of all the news that's happening these days. People are going and they're checking out Microsoft Mesh. They're checking out the new Google stuff. So Edna says, I personally need to understand the systems. Absolutely. Yes. Actually, I think we all do. There's quite a bit of these systems. Actually, if I did this, would this appear? Oh, cool. That's so cool. I can put your comments like right here on Windows. That's cool. Awesome. So, why is it not showing the last? Okay, here. Yeah, I personally need to understand the system. So, exactly. So that's what we're going to be focused on, is finding ways that you can learn a little bit more of the systems. Now, I'm kind of disappointed actually. Like I was hoping to have like this whole like VR demo for you guys today. It didn't work out. I apologize for that. This is one of the things that I'm learning about in the live stream. But we're here. We are here for you. Any kind of comments that you have or any thoughts that you have, we'll try to share and promote. And I think the key here is next week, I will be focusing a little bit more on the use of, I'm going to expand a little bit more on what I talked about last time, which was AI ethics. Because right now there's a lot of new privacy regulation that is coming in. Obviously, we want less personally identifiable information tracked. And you can see trends with Apple blocking trackers, these types of cookie trackers. So I'm going to explore a little bit more into the cookie tracking side and some of the ways that companies are going to get around this problem using something is called the federated learning of cohorts. And what this is a special technique that is used to do a little bit more processing on the devices themselves, because these phones are becoming more powerful, more capable. So you do more processing right there. And then you send out only essential information that the company really needs to know, like queries that they make or answers to queries that they make. I think this would be quite interesting for a lot of us. And so I would love to see like what your thoughts are related to this. So, hang tight, like there's more stuff coming. We are very excited about this program. I want to get you on the email list, and hopefully we will have more opportunities to explore this together as we learn about where the future of unconscious input is going. Now, that said, unconscious input is an important concept. No matter what you're doing, it doesn't matter if you are on social media, if you are on virtual reality, you can just see that as we move more and more immersed into our digital environments, what we explicitly do matters less and less, and what our unconscious, just where we look, becomes more and more important. And so I hope that will give you some insight as to this matters. This matters for everyone, every single parent out there needs to be aware of what is going on. And when they see what's going on and they get really confused, or they get really frustrated about it, like a lot of the times is there's not a full understanding of what's going on with unconscious input. So, oh, thank you so much. And this is a DM my email address. Thanks. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. So let me know. You could even just put it in the chat. Yeah. Yeah. Sign me up. I'll reach out to you. But my thinking around this is that it's good to have a community, because we're going to learn so much together, right? We are going to grow so much together, and things are changing so rapidly. This year, like you can mark my words, is going to be a huge year for virtual reality. We're going to see a real growth and an explosion in that space. Why did Rec Room, just a simple social VR system that's just been around for so many years, just suddenly triple in terms of their number of users, get $20 million in terms of investment? It's exactly these reasons. It's exactly because social virtual reality is really starting to take off. It took a lot longer than we expected. I think there was a huge, like, billions of dollars push in, I think, 2017, 2016, that time frame, that, oh, it was going to be huge, and it didn't really work out. But then the pandemic happened, everybody's spending so much more time at home. You can see how this is becoming more and more important, and you can also see how we are spending more time. Maybe we're scrolling, like in 2018, we were already scrolling a Statue of Liberty worth of posts every single day. You can imagine, like, how many posts do you think we're scanning now? How many posts do you think we're like are we doing 2 Statues of Liberty every single day? That's a good question. We don't know. But things are changing in this space. And so it's becoming more and more important to know about this, not just from the perspective of, like, I want to say, like, understanding the parent perspective, and there's a lot of, like, just basic parenting stuff that needs to be dealt with. But I'm just talking about the computer side, just the computer science side. There is so much to know here that is super important for parents, that I want to get out there, because I feel like more and more this is important for you. So thank you guys very much. What I'm going to do is, I think, if you've stuck here for this long, and if you don't mind waiting, okay, so we're 10 minutes past the hour, I'm going to try it one more time to load this thing up, and we will hopefully get it working. I think what I need to do is, like, do a full-on, like, reboot of everything, so that you can see it. And so if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, that's cool too. I don't mind. I love trying, like, technology, but my goal is, in the meantime, I would like to ask, do you guys have any questions? Is there anything, like, you guys are here, right? I'm here too. Like, I wanna make sure that this time is useful for you. So can you tell me, like, is there, like, if there's any questions about virtual reality, and from what you saw today, what kind of questions might I be able to answer for you? So while you think about that, I'm gonna try to get this set up one more time. Hopefully it works. We'll see. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, that's cool. So back into virtual reality. It's kind of cool. I can actually see the camera, like, right in front of me, so I can see where I am. Oh, so I have to redo everything. Okay, great. Redo my bindery. Okay. Yep. Okay, continue. Okay, so now, checking, sharing, cast, live stream Chromecast, casting request sent. Oh, it's showing! Yay! Okay, it's working. So let's see. Okay, so let's switch over to the cast. Okay, can you see my screen? Can you see it? I hope you can, because I'm going to show you what my kids were playing with recently. So this is just a fun little app, and I I thought you deserve to see a little bit of this since I'm here anyways. So if you go into Oculus, this is what you would typically see right at the beginning, and you've got like a number of different apps. And so I was talking about AltSpace. So let me give you a quick tutorial of AltSpace because I think it's important for you to know. What is AltSpace? How does this whole thing work? And oh, are you seeing me? No? Just check. You're not seeing me. Okay, got it. I can see why. I don't have the green screen on. Turn on. Okay, can you see me now? Hope you can see me now. Oh, let's see. Okay, can you see me now? It's so cool. Edna says yes. Okay, awesome. Okay, so welcome to Dr. Ed's home. Okay, so I would rather go home here. Go home into this view because the home environment is where you can view events, and the events are what I find to be the really interesting part of Oculus, like the social VR. Like I'm not really that into playing games myself, but I am into the social aspect, simply because of the work that I'm doing for you. So you see, look at this, like center stage. So they have like a live event. They have 42 people already registered. Cornerstone Virtual Reality Church, Learn VR. So how to do development. Sundays at Saxy's starts in a minute, right? Like you've got music events. You've got a panel discussion, filmmaker content. Like these are all different types of content that you have, and joining the events is fairly straightforward. It ends in 16 minutes. Okay, that's okay. Like maybe I'll just join. Starts in 1 minute. This is so cool. Metaculture presents Sunday at Saxy's, right? And so these are the types of activities. Oh, by the way, in each one you create like a little profile, and that's what that's what my character looks like. So it's got like a little hat. See, the hat is very important. So that's kind of cool. Like, and by the way, this is the one that's owned by Microsoft, right? So remember this one. So go back to events. And so usually I just try to enter like whichever one I can. So center stage, see your talent. You see like it for each lesson or thing that you load, it loads up something here. So cool, yes. So it's just loading up the lesson. Enjoy the show, close. Oh, and this is very common, like a violation of personal space. That is extremely, extremely common. And so in this space, you can see like there's a few people here hanging out. And then over here, this is the center stage. So somebody's doing a performance here. Isn't that cool? Yes. Oh my goodness. This is not the kind of talent that I was expecting. Okay. So AltSpace, that's like one app that is important to look at. Obviously, the discussions that you're going to have in AltSpace are going to vary depending on what type of event that you go to. Maybe you want to see a little bit about like when I talk about environments and education, I think that it's these immersive environments that you can't be in. So for example, like Mission ISS is an example that I think is really a good example of like immersing yourself for the purpose of like education. So let's take a look here. As you see. Yeah, so you see in VR. Such a cool view. Oculus Studios.
Please select Training,
So,
Mission,
what I got my
or
kids to do is just
Explorer
the
mode.
mission one, and you can see like it gives you little instructions on this side of how to play it: grabbing and laser select, rotation, movement, and thrusters. Okay, got it.
Welcome to the
See my
International
virtual
Space
hands.
Station. Reach up with your left hand and hold down the X button to reveal your tablet computer. The tablet shows a schematic of the ISS.
Cool.
In addition to the layout of the
And press
modules,
it.
your current location and orientation are indicated by the yellow triangle on the map.
Cool.
You'll need to learn how to move yourself through the station.
Move.
The touch thumbsticks control both your forward and backward movement and your rotation.
Okay.
The right thumbstick turns you either left or right by 30 degrees. Give it a try.
So turning right. So I'm turning right, and I can see. Oh, there's
The
right there.
left thumbstick controls your momentum.
Okay.
Push up on the thumbstick and you'll move forward in whatever direction you're looking. Try it now.
There you go.
Now use the left thumbstick to get to the other end of the module.
Right. So, like already you can see it's an experience. Like you're now in an environment, and so it can be a little.
Keep moving through the station, starting with the Destiny module. You'll need to find some equipment in Node 3.
Oh no! Come on. So you can see it like I'm already moving through the International Space. Hey! Ooh! I crashed into something. What up? I feel dizzy.
Good. With some practice, you'll be able to use both thumbsticks at the same time to move yourself quickly where you want to go. It's time to learn how to move yourself through the station. Without any gravity, you'll need to use handbars to push and pull yourself through the station. Find a blue bar on your left or right, then grab it and keep holding on.
And I can see down to Earth. It's kind of cool. See this module over here. So, cool, huh? Like, I hope that helps give you a sense of like what that experience
Find
is
a
like.
blue bar on your left or right,
Oh my!
then grab it
That's
and
so
keep
sad.
holding on.
That's so cool. Yes. Yes. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So, like, in terms of like the experience is much more than just.
While you
going
hold
in,
onto
like,
it, pull forward slowly
So you can-
and release the grip button to
I'm
let
actually
go
learning
and
how
propel
to
yourself.
Move like a.
The faster you
astronaut.
pull, the faster you'll move.
See that? Like, it just
Don't pull
grab it.
too fast.
I grab something.
Most seasoned astronauts use a light touch on the handbars.
I grab the handlebar and I push.
Good. You can find bars in the middle of modules, or push and pull yourself off desks, equipment, or the walls themselves.
Right? So now I'm moving like an astronaut. Turn around. Right? So, and that's the
With
thing.
some practice, you'll be able to use both hands to move yourself quickly and accurately.
I'm a long ways from being
It looks like some cargo is loose and is blocking the hatch to Node 3.
Go away.
Take the cargo bag and put it in storage.
Take the cargo bag and move it in storage. So you can see like it has a number of like tasks that we have to do, and eventually you start learning all of that stuff. So I hope that makes sense. So that's another app that I think is very important to know. I also referred to earlier about this one, Venues, which is like a concert app. So I want to show you that one as well because I think that's important. Is this helpful? Oh my. Yeah, I appreciate the feedback. So Venues, beta early access. I hope you can see the screen. I really hope it's still showing. But yeah, thank you for playing with me on this. Polishing polygons. So what's interesting about this Venues app is that it is actually made by Facebook. You see that? You got to log into your Facebook account. And so this profile is like me. This is like my Facebook account. And so you can see like I've already built a little bit of a profile. Kind of looks like me, right? And so once you're in here, then you can enter into the lobby. And then we're in the social space. And so this gives you a sense of like this is not a typical like app that is completely separate. This one, Venues, is connected to Facebook. So you can see like there's other people already over here, Chained Immortal, right? And so people might have different privacy modes, and you can see aerial adventures. Like there's already a bunch of people here. So if I go into this space, it will take me to experiencing aerial adventures with others. Oh my, yes. So all of these, keep in mind, is like us watching a video together. You see that, right? That's kind of cool. And they have spatial audio, so if I'm a little bit further away, like they wouldn't hear me. So it's a fun experience. Like, and this is kind of like you can see how it's really like social. We're just hanging out. Hey, maybe we're just checking out. Like, oh, look at the underwater here. We're all experiencing it together, and we're having a little event or a little party together. I think this is important because like this is kind of what I see as more the social virtual reality aspect. And it's basically like us watching a movie together. So you can see like a lot of people are coming in and they're joining as well. So, and then of course, if you turn here, you'll get like a few options. So you can do things like you can see who is nearby. You can see some of their actions. So you could like mute them. You could be like, this is what's called a safe zone. And so one of the things that we're going to have to do more of in virtual reality is know like, okay, this is too much, or like I'm being bombarded, I need a separate space. So being able to go in and hit this button, the safe zone button, is very important, right? Because it gives you a space that you can be separate from others. Does that kind of make sense? Oh my, yes. Okay. Yeah. So that gives you a sense, and like this, like when you add these people, they become like part of your social network in Oculus. So for example, like if I go back to my home, I'm just gonna quit Venues for now. In my home, you'll see like I have these people as my friends. So like these are people that I've spoken with, and so it is different from my social network for Facebook. So it's not the same thing. But that said, like I'm sure there's a way to connect. Like you can click Add Friend, and then you can probably search based on who your network is, and then you can search for a person's username or their Facebook name, and then you can connect that way. So there's different ways that I can find people. So just so you know. Okay. I've already showed the first Steps app. You can watch videos. This is the VR chat app. Like I mentioned, oh, it needs an update. Of course it does. Okay. Well, anyways, I won't be able to load it right now. But essentially, VR chat is very similar. It's not all that different from Venues. It's not all that different from a lot of the other experiences. And so I'm going to load a couple different ones, as we go from here. I hope that was helpful. I hope that made sense. But I think that's about it for me for right now. Okay, yeah. So I do apologize. My time is also restricted as well today. But I hope that gave you a little bit more sense of like what we are trying to do in virtual reality. Oh, it's kind of cool. Like even if I tilt it, I blocked there's a light sensor that normally turns off the VR headset, and I blocked it so that I could still have it running even if I wasn't there. So you can still see I'm like technically looking in this space. So yeah, I hope that was helpful. Stay tuned. We are going to be showing you a lot more of the capabilities of virtual reality and some of the different apps. We're going to be going into them in detail. And I'm looking forward to hearing about, well, what's your feedback? What do you think is going to be most useful for you to learn in this space? What do you want to see? What would be most helpful for you? And one of the things that I was really honored to do this week was speak with Steve Bambury, who has done so many keynote talks on the use of VR in education, both the good and the bad. And I think it's good for us to look at it from his perspective because he has so much experience. It's awesome. We definitely want to learn more. Okay. All right. Yep. So absolutely. And so one of my goals is I want to bring in some some very talented speakers to share some of their thoughts about VR and where it can go. But I felt that like before I can do that, I need to first share with you this experience of like what is like VR, why is it like who controls it, what are the basics of it. So we cover the basics of VR this time. We'll go into a little bit more depth next time I cover a little bit more about virtual reality. Okay. So thank you very much for attending today. I really appreciate it. Of course, it turns off now. Green full. Okay. So we will be back. We will be sharing a lot more about where this is going to head. And I do appreciate your time. Thank you very much. We really appreciate you. We will catch up with you soon. Let us know how we can help. And we are all here as parents in a world of artificial intelligence and virtual reality. So let's make the most of it. I'll see you hopefully in the AI Parenting Insider soon, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you.